Alrighty. So Chris assures me this time this is in fact the goldenrod, and I'm going to try it out. I struck out on all my other guesses, but he told me this is in fact goldenrod and this is trumpet vine, and I'm going to try the two. Some already got a little hole pre-drilled there and all set, ready to go. And give it a whirl here. Yeah, it works pretty much awesome, Chris. And I'm still using your tinder bundle sparingly as I can, because this is some really good stuff. We have fire. Thanks again, Chris. Alright guys, just knew I had to get out here even for a little while because the weather just got beautiful. It's real mild out. I really don't need a fire, but to stay warm I need it really because I brought this stave in after taking all the bark off. I got a closer look at it, and the grain runs fairly straight, but I don't know how well you could see this. The lower limb right now that's touching the ground, I already designated this as my back of the bow, but now that I got the bark off I could see a little bit better. The very end, it just twists out to the left there. You could probably see that. Yeah, it's very little, but I just want to pull that tip more into line with the center and this tip, so I figured if I get out here I could at least maybe heat that limb about mid-limb up to tip and just try to scoot that over. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Alright guys, so I'm letting my fire burn down a little bit, and all I'm doing right now is I grabbed some Crisco from the house. This is a perfect example of why I shouldn't throw away my deer fat. I always say I'm going to save it and use it for projects like this. But really I'm just using this oil and grease to kind of coat where I'm going to heat this bow. You know, the grease adds a little bit more protection because it'll more evenly distribute the heat where you're trying to apply it, and it's also going to help prevent like scorching. But you could still burn your wood. You want to be careful. I'm going to move this really fast and not let it sit on the coals in any one spot. But really I'm just going to apply this from mid-limb to tip where I want to heat this, and pull this just a little bit closer to center. And it's important when you're making stick bows to kind of work with the wood, work with the grain. Try not to impose your will on the bow, cut through knots and stuff, but kind of work with it. But in this case you can kind of, with just a little bit twist like this, you could just cheat it over, and that's what I'm going to try to do with the heat. So I'm going to let that fire burn down a little bit more and get some bit of hot coals, and I'll be back with you. Alright guys, so this fire's burned down quite a bit. Just going to spread these coals a little bit. I just want to begin to just start heating this bow up slowly. You don't want to put it right on there. You don't want to burn anything. You're just trying to warm this thing up gradually. And I might have to do this a couple times. What's going to happen is I'm going to warm this up till it's really hot to the touch, and then I'm going to kind of lever the tip back in the center I might jam this in a tree to do it. I might just try to do it on the ground. We'll see how hard it's going to be to kind of bend this back. But yeah, I'm just keeping this moving. You want this thing to start scorching on you. There's just a little bit of twist in this. So I just want to bring this back more aligned with the other tip. So once I get this nice and hot, I'll show you what's next. Oh, yeah, it's getting pretty hot. Okay, I saw that start to straighten out a little bit. So I'm really tweaking it just a little bit past where I want it to be. And I'm holding it there. So I got it a little bit straighter. Still not as straight as I would like. Alright guys, I don't know how well you could see this. I just reheated that and straightened it a little bit better. I'm trying to get into place. But you can see that tip now is a lot closer to center. It's still just a hair over off to the left, but it's real close now. The tips are much more in line. Alright guys, so I haven't really fully decided how I want to shape this yet. I'm thinking just a really basic taper to tip. You know, come up 4 or 5 inches. Just thin those tips out. There's a knot here. This is actually the knot where I was originally going to cut off at, but I'm trying to get this bow as long as I can at this point. And so I'm going to try to work with that knot. I might cut in. I'm going to go to thin my tips. I wanted to show you something real quick though too. I retouched my my little spoke shave type tool last night, and I'm on the belly right now, this bow. And I just want to show you, if you can see, I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up or not, but this thing is working every bit as good as I could hope. I was thinking I might just go ahead and use this to start the tillering, because this is, man, taking off curls. My other option was I could make like an adze type tool and you know, chop some of this bulk thickness off, which would be the fastest way, but I'm dealing with such a small stick here, I don't want to overdo it and end up taking off too much wood. So I might just go slow with a draw knife type tool like this, if it'll work, and I could just keep, you know, resharpening this as I go. But this is curling the wood right off. Maybe when I go to thin these tips up a lot, I might grab like an adze and chop and shape the tips. I just want to show you that. I'm thinking I might be using this, but we'll see. I haven't really decided yet. Alright guys, I'm just trying to give you a little closer look of what I might try to be doing. Just want to show you how well this is working, because I get a good grip with it. I mean, this is working better than some of my steel tools since I never sharpen them. But this is peeling off curls of wood. See that? That's pretty awesome. Seeing how well this is working, I mean, in no time I could thin this thing down, and you always want to go slow when you start tillering. So I mean, this will force me to do that. That way I won't be chopping into it. And I think if I'm feeling ambitious, I might even make a video showing me make like an adze type axe thing, and to kind of chop the bulk of these tips down, because that's where I'd have to remove a lot of wood to thin these down a lot. But that's pretty awesome. So I'll show you that.